Hello guys, welcome to CS Tech Solution. Today's is learn in SQL. Today's is learn as a SQL in union. As a union is SQL operators and used to combine the result of two or more select statement into a single result set, and it remove duplicates rows by as a default. And syntax as a select as the colon names 1 2 otherwise all the colons has to use as a star, and the from as a table 1, and the union and after as a select a column 1 colon 2 and the from as a table 2 and semicolon. So the result for as using the union as both the select statement, you must have same numbers of colons, and the colons is must as the compatible data types, and the colon should be in same order, and the union is remove the duplicates record as automatically. Let's check the union examples. First as student 2024 and the student 2025's data is here, and both of the tables in the student ID and the names has to show, and after but as 103 IDs as repeat in the both the tables, so as a query says to write as a select after as an only as a name colons has to uh, show the output. So the select names from, and the table name is student underscore 2024, and union as a select name and from as a student underscore 2025 and the semicolon. So the names colons has to show the output, and as 103 IDs as repeat in two times, so the Rahul has print only one time, and first as Amit, Priyas, and third is Rahul, and after the another table to fetch the data, but Rahul is two times, so as not repeat, and fourth is Neha, and fifth is Karan. And notes as Rahul says appears only once because the union says remove the duplicates values as automatically. And other as a union all command, as a union all query says combine the result of two and the more select statement, and without removing the duplicate rows, and the queries like select name from as a student underscore 2024 and the union all, and select names from as the student underscore 2025 is a table name, and the semicolon. So the output has to show first table to date the name is fetch as the Amit, Priyas and the Rahul, and second table to fetch the data without duplicate rows is removed, and after the another time says the Rahul says to print, and the Nehas and the Karan. So the main difference is the union has remove the duplicate row, and the union all is not remove the duplicate rows record. Exit in the SQL as a exit is a SQL operator, and that is check the whether set the subqueries and the return at last one's row. If the subqueries is return the ones or the more rows is exist is written as a true, otherwise it's written as a false. And the syntax is a select a colon name from as a table names, and where and after as a exit counts inside the subqueries as a select colon name from as a another table names, and where as a condition and the counts close and semicolon. Let's check the example. As a two colons as as a two tables has to give as a product tables inside as a product ID names as a supplier ID, and the price has to give, and the supplier table inside as a supplier ID, supplier names, address and the cities has to give. and write a query as a select as a supplier name. So the supplier name is print the output, and from as a supplier it's a table name, and where exist in counts inside the another subquery as a select as a product names, is a product table to fetch, and from as a product table, and where as a products dot supplier id uh, equal as a supplier dot supplier IDs is match, and this supplier ID and this supplier ID say is equals or the not, and is price is greater than the tens and counts close and semicolon. So the supplier ID says to check, and a price is checked the greater than the tens or the not, and so the output. So the first supplier IDs is 1, so the 1, and price is greater than the 10, so the first supplier IDs names has to print, and after the second is to check, as second is checked, and the price is greater than the 10, so the second supplier ID has to print. After the third is check, as third is price is greater than the 10 or not, and yes is greater than the 10, so the third supplier ID says the print the supplier names, and the fourth has to check, and is greater than the 10, so the fourth supplier IDs to the supplier names has to print. As any in SQL, as any is compare the values with any one values as written by as a subquery, and the condition is true if it is match at last one's values, and the syntax as a select colon name from the table name, and where as a colon names operators is used as a any, and counts inside the select colon name from another table name, and counts close and the semicolon. Let's check the example. And this example as a two table is to give as a product tables in, so as a product ID, product names, and the price, and second table is a order details tables, and so as a order detail ID, product ID, and the quantity, and as a product ID is shown in both the tables, and after the examples query says to write as a select product names, as a product name is print, and from as a product is a table name, and where as a colons names is there says the product ID in both the tables has to show, and equals as a any, and counts inside a subquery says write as a select the product ID from as a order details tables, as a order detailed table to find as a product ID, and where the quantities has to check the product IDs as quantities equal as a tens or the not. So the product ID 1 and 2 is the quantities as the 10, so the fetch the data so in the product ID 1 and the 2s, and the product names is show in the output as a chase and the chunks. Other command queries is the all in the SQL, as a all is compared the values with so all the values as written by the subqueries, and the conditions is true, and only if it is satisfied the comparisons for every values as written, and the syntax is a select colon name from as a table names, and where as a colons names, and after the operator as all has to use, and operators as a equals and any sign, and after the all, and counts inside the subqueries as a select colon name from as a another table name, and the counts close and semicolon. Let's check the example. And this example has a product table to show as a product ID names and the price, and the order detail table to show as a order detail ID, product ID, and the quantity, and as so the queries as a select as a product names, So the output as the print as a product names, and from as a product is a table names, and where as a columns names is a product ID, and operator says to use as a equals and all, and counts inside the subqueries right as a select as the product ID from as a order detail tables, and where as a qualities equal as a 10. So the check the order details tables and the qualities is 10. So as a one row in records as product ID is 1. So the product ID is 1 as find the product tables, and the product names is print as a chase. Thank you guys to watch the videos. Please subscribe the channel, on the notification and bell icon.